Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the FX Market Insight for Tuesday, the 20th of August. All right, now we're sort of just, we're right into the heartbeat of the Asian session here. So the next 24 hours, what do we got coming up? Now, no surprise, it's very rare. I mean, most of the time, I was going to say, very rare for the analysis to change from Monday to Tuesday, because it's not quite often that we actually have really aggressive upcoming releases, major events on a Monday. Now, of course, if there's been major geopolitical events, and that's where I was umming and ahhing, because we do get a lot of Trump activity over the weekends, you do get a bit of change. But otherwise, normal market conditions, and this is what we've got at the moment, normal liquidity, calm markets, which means there's no geopolitical impact right at the moment. But what we are seeing is not much change overall in the analysis from yesterday. The only pair that's really changed to me is the Kiwi and the Owlies. They were sort of more drifting sideways, but now they are sort of just drifting lower again. So the Kiwi, to me, is the best sort of trading pair at the moment. Now, Euro last week provided traders with a lot of good opportunities. It's now sort of trading sideways, and we are waiting for that next injection of data. And the other sort of major thing here, the Aussie sort of really pulled up stumps on that downside move and just drifting sideways on the hourlies and dailies. So when we come to looking at today's, potential momentum releases, we have got the Aussie RBA minutes, and that's out in about half an hour. There's a chance in there for a bit more depth on what the central bank is thinking. So make sure you do have a look at that, because there could be some, a little tweak towards either the dovish side of things or neutral, or either way. You want to make sure you're abreast of that, because it could turn the Aussie market down very quickly if it's dovish, or we may even see a little spike if they were sort of neutral to saying everything's okay, which I don't expect at all. The other major release for the sort of the next 24 hours is really only the manufacturing sales data out of Canada. Now, dollar CAD has sort of been whipping all over the place. It's up another sort of 70 or 80 points yesterday. So, it's definitely going to be in play. Now, let me just swing you back to the charts here. Just have a quick look where everything is. As I said, there's no major change here. The Aussie just drifting sideways there on the hourlies. And here you can see the Kiwi just starting to chime in again with that sort of downside move. It looks like it's ready for a cleaner move down through 64 cents. And we may start to see some progress to the downside if we get some consistency on those US numbers. Now, the market, you can see it's just drifting sideways here. It looks like it's going up, but it's drifting sideways through the cloud and that short-term trend line resistance. Really, there's room for this thing to shoot up to 108, but we need news for that, right? We're going to need either Trump to come out and say, you know what, we're doing a deal with China, or we need something else good on the dollar side to get that move. Otherwise, it's just going to drift around. And I guess, if anything, you're looking at the previous highs here. 107 is probably the next level that traders will be looking at. If it gets above there, we may see that spike up to 108, but not much is happening at the moment. Euro, nice. This is a nice trending market. See how this sort of is stepping up and down? That's pretty cool. I like to see that. So you should start to find some sellers here around 111. I guess a lot of traders, because it's already dropped 120 points, are probably going to wait for the next fundamental driver to really be confident to get short at these lower levels. But for all money at the moment, it looks like Euro is just going to keep treading lower. Of course, we've been seeing these spikes higher. So wait for the fundamental data, the drivers, and that'll tell you whether you should be buying or selling this thing. Sterling, well, it's trading sideways in a big range. It's rallied off, 120.20 up to 121.80. It's a pretty good move, on hopes. Okay, just on hopes, nothing tangible, of some sort of deal between the EU and the UK. That's very hopeful. I wouldn't be hanging your hat on that. And here's dollar CAD, right? So oil back at $56. So it's rallied a little bit, and dollar CAD has shot to the top side now. It's got a nice hourly uptrend. It's not really doing a hell of a lot on the dailies, but we do have a couple of highs here that if it gets above those, it could really spike to the top side. What do we need? Well, this is where the data comes back into play. Now, the main catalyst for me, and this is potentially the best momentum sort of trade for today, the manufacturing sales, this is a pretty aggressive number. If we get a really weak number here, okay, pushing the CAD down, the dollar will drive higher, and we could see a spike, a good spike up, up to 133.80 if we do get some really weak numbers. All right, that's where I think the best opportunity is. Of course, keep an eye on the RBA minutes. I don't know if there's going to be any surprises. They will, to me, remain cautious, especially like every central bank at the moment. They are all talking about global growth concerns, and it's very obvious when you come to the overall news pages, and they're all talking about global growth and what we're going to do to stimulate it, etc. That Hong Kong protest still getting a lot of airtime. This is a massive problem, blowing up a massive problem for China. Now, if they come in and start like going crazy on the locals there, it's the global unrest about China that Trump is generated will switch over to a social side, and you can expect some major big things happening if the troops do move on those protesters. But we'll see how that plays out. Anyway, guys, that's it from me. There's not a lot of movement at the moment, but this is as the markets usually are, right? I like the way that there's been no major change in the currencies. We're waiting for the data. Monday has reconnected all the currencies. Okay, we're starting to really get into working out where the dollar's going and where the other currencies are going. And now is the time to start following the major data. So keep an eye on these two releases today. That's the focus. All right, guys, have a good trade day. Cheerio.